Hey everybody, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking for Follow a Sketch February, the last Monday, using my Citrus Twist kit from the month of February. Still have a lot of stuff in there. I'm doing one photo, and that is of the little Easter baskets from last year. And then my sketch is this guy right here, and this is, look, there's the poor overhead light, and then there are the big lights. Okay, so I am going to be using this sketch. It was posted in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club group on Facebook. So let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I totally sped this video up super fast because I did not cut any of the process out, including the huge kerfuffle that happened at the end. So my first thought was that I'm going to be bringing in all these papers and all these colors from my Citrus Twist kit. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to make straight blocky lines. I'm going to just use all these die cuts and stuff and all the little bits of the pieces that are picking out from around the photo is really going to like bring it all together, because it's all the Maggie Holmes collection, the Flourish collection, so all the colors will go nicely, and I'll just do that. And I even cut off that little part that said "so lovely" off the butterfly die cut, because you know about me and my feelings of butterflies on my scrapbooking layouts. Now, you know, I'm figuring this out, and I'm going through, and I'm thinking this is going to work. I just got to find the little pieces, and then, you know, I figure I'll do some hearts and some other things, and I'll just make it work, and I'll combine the black and white and the colors, and, you know, in my head, this is gorgeous. Yeah, not so much on the actual layout. Eventually, I'm going to get frustrated with it and give up, and there it is. I'm just like, no, forget this. This is not working. I'm going back to strips. But I don't want to just do the big I believe it was 4 bulky strips on the sketch. I want to do something different. So I decided to take a bunch of papers and just create rectangles of differing thicknesses. So I have some thicker ones, some thinner ones, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to work. I'm going to do this across the page, and then I'm thinking, oh, I should do a stencil over top of it. And I'm thinking I have white in the background, and I have white matting on the photo, so I'm totally going to do something like that. I'm thinking, this is going to rock. This is going to look awesome. I need something soft and florally, a big 12 by 12 soft floral stencil. And when I go looking in my stencils, I don't have a big 12 by 12 soft floral stencil, guys. I really think I need one in my life, but I don't have one, so I don't use one. And the vision that I have in my head slowly starts to fall apart. And by the end of this layout, it's completely apart. The vision is no longer there. It's a hot mess. Yeah, it's a mess. So anyway, I have these here. Now, I even toy with the idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave this white. But then I see the ticket die cut, and it's in 3 separate pieces. So I go, whew. Wasn't expecting that yawn to come up. That just came out of nowhere. So I decided to cut the tickets and use those. And then I have a very small gap. And instead of spacing everything out a little bit more, what do? I decide to cut a very thin piece of paper and go ahead and slap that down there. Now, my layout is actually adhered to my craft mat below it, and that is because this white sheet of cardstock that came in my Citrus Twist kit is warped. And it's warped because I was originally going to do some like watercolor backgroundy thing on it, and I decided against it and kind of just tossed it off to the side and not paying attention how it dried, and it's kind of warped now. So let that be a lesson to you. Pay attention. So here is the 12 by 12 stencil that I decided to go with, and it is a Rhonda Palizzari design, and I'm trying to think, like, what do I want to do on here? And I'm like, I'm going to use this texture paste. And then I think, no, I just use texture paste on a layout. I should try something different. And here I'm thinking, like, what should I try? And I think, oh, I should use my white distress ink. This will be cool. So I get some of the distress ink, and I'm like, well, it's picket fence is really not showing through at all. Like, you can't even tell. I just inked there. So I grabbed some acrylic paint, and I'm like, oh, let's try this. And, I'm using a dauber, and it's not what I was thinking I wanted. And now I wish I would have just kept going with the acrylic paint. I decided that it was too transparent and you could see through it, and I wanted it to be, basically I wanted this stencil to be another layer on top of the paper, so I didn't want you to be able to see through it. And I think I would have liked it more if these were like big flowers or something, but because it's such a geometric pattern, it's definitely another layer, and it's just kind of weird. I just think this layout turned out kind of weird for me. And then my papers kept attacking me. And finally I just go with it. Okay, so while I am sitting here texture pasting the business out of this page, somebody had asked me what was going on with my hands, because every time you see a video, I seem to have more cuts or bruises or scrapes on them. And they are a hot mess right now. They are super dry, like to the point where they crack. And I'm trying to fight that with some Aquaphor. And I'm also a klutz. And a couple doors ran out and got a hold of me. I promise I'm not being beat upon or anything. I really do run into things all the time. And at work, I've cut myself a few times, and, they're just a mess right now. So, sorry if it bothers you. They don't really bother me. I just want my hands to look like girl hands again. But anyway, so enough of that. So there's that, and I'm thinking this could work. So I'm layering up some bits and pieces. Now this is a piece of glitter paper. And it's from the Maggie Holmes Carousel paper pad. And then I have some of this die cuts with a View La Creme black striped paper that I just pull in there because I feel like it needs a little bit of extra oomph in it. Like there's a little something. Now I really want to use this bunny because these are Easter baskets, and the bunny is too large. Like the bunny itself is a fine size, but the piece that it's on is too large. So I go onto the cut apart sheet, and I think this would have been the perfect size to have a bunny on it. Instead, there's these goofy flowers. So I decide to cut around every single one of these little doohickeys, and that doesn't take too long. Now I have this video. This video is speeded up. The video is sped up 4 times. So this page took a long time. It was a lot of futzing around and messing around and liking what I was doing and hating what I was doing and just wanting to be finished so I could be done with the page and get it down and move on to something fun. So then I cut out the little bunny guy, and he's a cute little bunny guy. I liked the brown bunny guy on the cut apart sheet, but he was too large. Now I'm thinking I need to cut put something back here that's not this black and white floral. So I pull out my X-Acto knife and my very old and very, very used and well-loved Creative Memories cutting mat. And this is from the original Creative Memories, so it's old, but it's still good. Now, I decide that I'm going to use this tag, and then I think, well, maybe I'll do the pink, and that did not work. So I trace around the flower on the tag, cut it out, and no, I'm not at all upset that I no longer have that tag as a tag. I am completely happy because I am using it on a page, and I'm making it work for me. So I went ahead and used my little Scotch dot runner and added some adhesive on that little guy right there. And then I put that edge back around it. And then I think, you know what? This little bunny needs a little something extra. He's too cute not to have a little something extra. So I decide to emboss him. And I am, man, that was fast embossing. Okay, so he was embossed super fast. Not sure what just happened right there. It's doing some weird stuff. Now, at first I was going to put him up top because I liked that little blank space in the photograph. And I keep going back and forth, and I'm like, no, the bunny cannot be sitting on top of the baskets. That's not how it works. So I plop him down on the bottom, and he's there for good. And I'm thinking I need something a little bit more down here. So I grab this trim that I have. I don't remember where I got it. I just don't remember. And I place it down here, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm softening this layout up because that was my goal. I wanted that stencil layer to soften all the rectangles, and it didn't do it. It went in a different direction. So I need to find myself a really pretty floral 12 by 12 stencil so I can do this again and hopefully get the results that I see in my head. Because these little starbursts did not give me the results. Now, I at first was going to go with gold, but I thought that the gold kind of just melted into the page. And I do have these pops of black. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have these pops of black right here in the center of the page and call it good. So that makes me happy, and that's what that sticker says. It says, "This makes my heart happy," and it does. I know that sometimes I see on Facebook and, friends and stuff like that, and their Easter baskets are extravagant, and it's almost like mini Christmas, but Easter's never been that way for us. It's always been, a small little basket. When the kids were little, they got a toy instead of a lot of candy. And then I think there have been like a random Easter where an Easter basket didn't cost more than $5, or it did cost more than $5 because the Easter baskets are just, they're little, and it makes the family happy, and it makes me happy. So I just go ahead and pop some gems down in the center of these little bursts, and I'm like, no. I actually want to calm the burst down a little bit, and the only thing this is doing is making them stand out even more. So I like the little pearls that went down. These do not stay. They come up, and then I am going to have a huge mess. So I spilled mist all over the bottom of this layout, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I thought, you know what, I'll just dab some on, and I was like, screw this. And I was like, dump the mist bottle out all over my layout. I'm like, I did it once, I need to do it again, I need to repeat it because it happened once, and I'm like, oh, there it is, it's done. And at this time, I was getting pretty angry at myself. It wasn't coming together like I wanted it to. It wasn't, the vision I have in my head isn't coming out on the page. And I know it's the sunburst. I know that's what it is. It's these little sunburst guys that are giving me a fit. But, and then I had smeared the crap out of that little label, so I need to put a new one on. But the layout is finished. It's going to go in the album. I'm not going to redo it. It's all done. All right, guys, talk to you later.